Amassing a fortune of $7 billion, American fashion designer Ralph Lauren has gone from rags to riches, after growing up in an impoverished neighborhood of the Bronx, New York, USA. The Army veteran and former clerk has earned his fortune through his Polo clothing brand, launched in 1968. Despite his humble origins, he was always thinking big, as proven by his entry in the 1957 DeWitt Clinton High School yearbook, where he wrote millionaire as his life goal. So, who is the man behind the fashion house fortune? Born Ralph Lifshitz, in October 1939, to Jewish immigrant parents Frank and Frieda Lifshitz, he was the youngest of 4 siblings. Lauren grew up in small quarters, having to share a room with his 2 brothers but had what he describes as a happy childhood. As a teenager, Ralph was known for his unique sense of style. He was drawn to old-time elegance mixed with classic preppy style. He found inspiration in the personal style of Hollywood icons such as Fred Astaire and Cary Grant. Due to his deep love of clothes, Lauren needed a job to fund his passion and thus, got a part-time job to fund his interest in fashion. The family wasn't well off and Ralph immersed himself in the fantasy world of the cinema to escape his dull life. Young Ralph used to use his vivid imagination to step into the fictional world of cinema greats like Cary Grant and Gary Cooper. It was this imagination and creativity that would later help Lauren become so successful in the fashion industry. He changed his name to Lauren in his late teens, after reportedly enduring years of teasing due to his surname. In 1962, age 23, he joined the U.S. Army and served until 1964, when he took a job as a clerk at Brooks Brothers, the oldest men's clothing brand in America. Lauren then worked for Beau Brummel, the well-known tie manufacturer. He persuaded the company president to let him design his own line of ties, hence the Ralph Lauren Corporation was born in 1967. His interest in sport then led to the launch of his iconic brand, Polo. Watching his first polo match seemed to activate his entrepreneurial spirit. He went with a friend, Warren Hellstein, who described how they were exposed to fabulous things, the horses, the silver, the leather, the tall blondes with big hats and the high society. It spurred Lauren into developing an elegant and high-class brand, which later became known as Polo Ralph Lauren. It was a massive risk launching the company, as he had only a high school diploma and a handful of business classes, having dropped out of the City University of New York midway through his business studies. Lauren has always emphasized the importance of having a dream. Lauren once commented on how he was often questioned about what influenced his designs. He stated, "People ask how can a Jewish kid from the Bronx do preppy clothes? Does it have to do with class and money? It has to do with dreams." Throughout Lauren's business journey he has consistently proved that you do not need to come from money to achieve your dreams. Ralph Lauren began his career with the simple goal of creating clothes he wanted to wear. He was unhappy with the style of men's clothing at the time and decided to design clothes for himself. The Ralph Lauren Corporation began in 1967 when Ralph released his own line of men's ties. He credits the success of the ties to their difference from other ties on the market at the time, describing them as wide and unusual. Ralph went from store to store selling his ties as well as selling them from a drawer in the Empire State Building in New York City. As his success began to grow, Ralph grew his passion further and launched a clothing line. He created Polo, a brand that not only sold clothes but also a lifestyle. When discussing the Ralph Lauren brand, Lauren stated, "The clothes that I design and everything I've done is about life and how people live and how they want to live and how they dream they'll live. That's what I do." In relation to his designs, Lauren described the style of the Polo clothing line as tweedy English-American look with a French cut. The 1970s were a prosperous time for the Ralph Lauren brand, with Lauren introducing the women's collection as well as the brand's signature cotton polo shirt. His next big risk was designing wide, colorful ties, in an era when plain and narrow was the fashion. His radical approach paid dividends. He won over Bloomingdale's and sold $500,000 worth of ties in his first year. In spite of his rapid rise to the top, he didn't stand still, instead expanding his company. He believed in enjoying the moment, but also keeping on the ball and moving forward. When it came to designing clothing, he came up with designs that he would want to wear himself. He imagined clothing fit for movie stars. "The things that I made, you could not buy. You could not find them anywhere," Ralph said about his brand. He started out in menswear and launched his first tailored shirts for women in 1971, with his now famous polo player emblem. He also opened his store on Rodeo Drive, Beverly Hills, the same year. His signature cotton polo short was launched in 1972, while his range of fragrances made their debut at Bloomingdale's in March 1978. He opened his flagship store on Madison Avenue and 72nd Street, in New York, in 1986. In 1992, Lauren launched his iconic Polo Sport line, followed by additional lines and acquired brands, such as Ralph Lauren Purple Label in 1995. His company was publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange on 12 June 1997. In June 2016, it was reported the Ralph Lauren brand was struggling in some quarters. Analysts blamed discounting and lower-end products, claiming they cheapened its image, while a failure to attract younger consumers was also cited. In 2017, the designer responded by launching wearable tech, in the shape of a fitness technology shirt, combined with a mobile app. The Polo Tech Smart Shirt athletic apparel pioneered physical tracking technology. It was embedded with sensors, tracking the wearer's heart rate, breathing, stress level and calories burned. Data was streamed to an app that generated customized workout programs, enabling Polo Sport to compete with the likes of Nike, Adidas and other leading sports brands. The Ralph Lauren Corporation has evolved from the Polo line and transformed into a true lifestyle brand, now offering Ralph Lauren products in 4 different categories including apparel, home, accessories, and fragrances. During his career, Lauren has also designed the USA Olympic uniforms numerous times as well as designing the costumes for popular movies, including Annie Hall and The Great Gatsby. Now aged 79, the designer is reaping the fruits of his labor. The kid who dreamed of becoming a millionaire is a multi-billionaire, with homes in Long Island, Jamaica, Bedford, and Manhattan, plus a 17,000-acre ranch in Colorado. He owns one of the most valuable car collections in the world with over 100 cars including McLaren F1 and Lamborghini Reventon. His car collection is estimated to be worth over $350 million. He once said, "For me, owning a rare and magnificently designed car offers a different kind of experience. You can enjoy the beauty of the machine and the journey it takes you on." He believes a key to his success is having style, rather than following fashion. He famously said, "Fashion is over quickly. Style is forever." Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more business content. Let us know what video you would like.